Hello and welcome back to my channel. It's been such a long time for me. What's it been? 7 days since my last upload? Jeez, can't believe it. But without further ado, I think it's about time I break my glasses. We're gonna jump into a Q&A. First question is the top rated comment on my YouTube poll at the moment, and that is, will Brexit change anything in your life? It's a good question, and yes, most definitely, obviously. It's one of those questions where I assume people think, maybe it won't have an effect at all. Yes, I'm trying to be a citizen of the country of the UK, so the fact that the country I'm going to be a citizen of no longer allows free travel within this giant group of countries, the EU, that affects me quite greatly, in a sad way. Also, not even in a travel context, but let's just say that this is an incredibly detrimental thing to the pound, to the currency of this country. Would that affect me? Yes. It would affect not just me, but everyone else that calls the UK their home if their livelihood and the economy goes down to the point where people are traveling into the UK because they can get a good value, whereas it used to be the other way around. So yes, Brexit affects me, but hey, at the end of the day, London's not pro-Brexit, and at this very exact moment, it's not having an exact effect on me outside of the repercussions of the macroeconomics of the situation, but I'm happy. I've got my life, I'm getting the citizenship regardless of whatever happens with Brexit, so at the end of the day, just gonna keep trying to do what I'm doing at the moment and try to have it not affect me as much as it maybe will. How's your Spanish going? Well, because I was basically away the entire month of January, Spanish definitely took a back burner. I still was learning, but at the very minimum I could not to get kicked out of my league, but now that I'm back, I'm getting right back into it. My Spanish is flowing. I did actually use a lot of Spanish on my trip because I met a lot of people that spoke Spanish, and even though I couldn't speak back as fluently as I would have liked, I understood a lot. I was listening to everyone and I could comprehend what they were saying. It's just when I replied, it'd be like, sí, me gusta. At times I'd say like, necesito ir al baño, that's, whew, we got two verbs in a sentence, all right? Baby steps. How are your avocado plants doing? Well, I've got bad news. Let's go to the kitchen. Here are my two adult avocados. One of them is really not doing that well, sadly. This one looks great though. I mean, he's managed to survive. The winter has been really bad because he's just been here, so he lost a lot of the upper leaves because there's just no way that the light can't really get to them, and it's shaved a lot. This one, I don't know if there's any avocado doctors. It's on its way out. There we go. Goodbye, leaf. It looks like each leaf is kind of getting this darkened tint around the edges here. Honestly, when I looked it up, it looks like it has to do with salt burn. Maybe there's a root rot or a fungus thing. I did leave for quite a while, and it's very sad because I have no clue what I'm supposed to do. But in terms of the babies, right? The babies that we planted from the video, look at these boys. They don't look so shabby, do they? Looking pretty nice size. Excited to put them out in the actual sun. What did you originally want to do after getting your degree? Well, I mean, I went to university for mathematics. What I thought I could get out of that, I was planning on probably teaching math. However, I then went into further with the actuarial science master's degree because I thought, well, maybe I could be an actuary. I seem good at this type of math and it's fun to me. So probably either being a teacher or an actuary, or even just a math tutor. I just still really love math. I love teaching math. I think it's fun. For those of you that have enjoyed the math-related videos that I've made in the past, well, next week's video hopefully might interest you. Are you continuing to look for a new job, or are you just gonna stick to doing YouTube for a bit? Well, to be honest with you, I think I'm doing YouTube full-time now. When I was working at this company I was working for that went under in March, I really enjoyed it. I liked going in because it gave me that stability of, even though it was only 2 days a week, it was that job. It made me feel like I'm contributing to something bigger than myself. However, the feeling that you get with that as well, kind of, is that feeling like, is this really that useful? Or maybe I could utilize my time better. And at this point in my YouTube career, YouTube's doing pretty well. Thank you guys so much for the support. I honestly think I can be fine right now doing just YouTube, and at this point, it makes me want to do more adventurous things on the platform and not just make the same thing. Hence why, if you've been watching my travel channel, I've really been trying so hard to do different things and make it more informative and just make my content stand out a bit more. Hence why I'm upgrading and doing a lot of different things, because I really want to invest in this and maybe come up with a couple new series. So yeah, YouTube full-time, it's kind of cool actually. Do you think the Netflix series Sex Education is a good way to educate young people about sex? I haven't really seen more than 2 or 3 episodes. Personally, not my style show. I really didn't like the whole, is it in the UK with the accents, or the US style schools, or the mishmash, which supposedly was a stylistic choice so that it could be relatable to everyone, but in that regard, I found it not relatable in the slightest because I was too confused with the anachronistic and or placeless place. So to answer your question, I have no clue. I haven't watched enough of the series to know. I just know I was like, And personally, I'm like, as a parent, eventually, I'm going to inform my child and be the educator. I don't hopefully need a TV show to do that, but I like that, the options out there, I guess. If you're a fan of the show, leave a comment. Did you actually find it was useful and effective? Because I do find a lot of these types of shows always have like one tiny mistake and everyone goes, now it's the worst show ever and I can't support it. What is the demographic of your audience? Is it mainly British or American? Well, it's been teetering and tottering depending on what video blows up in what country. It can be a lot of Americans, it can be a lot of Brits. I'd say on the general, it is like a lot more Brits than Americans recently. Don't know why, probably from the GCSE video. You guys really want to do math tests. Most people that end up watching my videos on average are between 18 to 35, so heyo, welcome, adult friends. Let's go to the pub. What drives you to still do YouTube after so many years? Was there a time you wanted to quit and pursue a different career? Yeah, multiple times throughout 2019, 2018, I mean, that's always a thing, because YouTube is not stable, Income from YouTube could be really great one month, and I'll be like, Mama, I'm gonna buy a house one day. And then the next month, I'll be like, Mama, I'm scared. That sounds like a joke, but I've genuinely gone through both of these things in the last year alone. Money comes, it goes. You just kind of have to keep trying. Now, in terms of different careers, yeah, I applied to work as a math teacher last year. I went into like a final stage interview, man. I've tried a lot of different things. I still think that marketing and or, YouTube is a full-time thing for me. However, recently I've come to terms with the fact that I know a lot about cameras and lighting and things just from making videos for so long and trying so hard to learn more. And actually, my friend Tom Scott came over to my house yesterday to shoot a video in my room. You might see that on his channel in a month or two. And when I was helping him shoot with my kit and everything, they were like, have you ever considered being a camera operator? And I was like, no. But I think it'd be fun because I genuinely love the technical side of, shooting and photography and videography. So I think I have options. If YouTube goes down the gutter, at least I got some transferable skills. Who are you rooting for in the US 2020 presidential election? Same as it was in 2016, my boy Bernie Sanders. He's like my top choice. There's nothing he's done that I'm like, I'm reconsidering. He's still Bernie, still doing the best, and he's still, in my opinion, going to be the best thing that could happen to the US. Second, Elizabeth Warren. If I wanted like a lot of the stuff that Bernie's already campaigning for, but a lighter version, sure. Definitely better than Trump. There are a couple niche candidates at the bottom that I'm like, they wouldn't be so bad. And then there's always like Bloomberg and Biden, horrible, absolutely not, tragic. Let's hope that doesn't happen. But at the end of the day, it looks like we're gonna have quite a crazy election this year. Do you have any shows you're currently binging? As I said in last week's video, Curb Your Enthusiasm is now back for another season, and that's probably what I'm gonna be watching. But besides that, I really don't watch a lot of TV. So many of my friends, I see them posting stories, or they talk about what do you think of this show, and there's so many shows to watch. How does everyone have all this time? Maybe I just dedicate so much more time to making YouTube or learning German and Spanish and piano, traveling, that I just don't have time to watch TV shows. So when I choose one, I really make that decision, because, I don't have the time otherwise. How many shows do you guys watch a year? I'd say like at maximum, maybe like 4, 5? Well, that being said, I do watch YouTube a lot because it's more easily digestible. I can sit down and watch a 15 or 30 minute video at 2x speed with breakfast easily, and I can watch a couple of those types of things. But when it comes to a TV show, I just know I'd get addicted to binging the entire thing, and then I'd waste a lot of time that I could spend, doing other things. I have like some weird productivity case. Actually, right after filming that part of the video, it turns out I ended up watching an entire season of a show on Netflix. To be fair, it was only 6 episodes long, and each episode was only a half hour long, so 3 hours, and it was in German, so kind of productive, right? That works out. It was actually pretty good. It was called How to Sell Drugs Online Fast. Really fun, informative. I'm really excited to see the second season to see where it goes. Anyway, without further ado, I think we should jump back in. Do you choose the location or does the brand on sponsored travel videos? It's a really good question. Yeah, it depends on who the brand is and what they're doing. I'd say 90% of the time, the brand is usually a tourism board for a specific country, so am I choosing whether or not to visit the country? No, I'm going to that country. That's the whole point. But if it's an airline, I've had the option to choose before. Also, on my recent cruise trip, I got to choose between doing the first leg, which was Italy all the way to Brazil, or doing one that goes through Tahiti, or doing one that goes to Bali, and I was like, oh, these are pretty cool. But I chose that one because I just really wanted to go to Brazil. So I did get to choose in the end that much. Also, in regards to that recent trip, the reason I enjoyed it so much was because I was actually working for the company. I wasn't making my own videos necessarily. I have made them just for funsies because I just liked travel vlogging so much. But I was actually just commissioned to film for their Insta stories, and it felt cool to be a host of a travel channel of someone else's brand, and it was really cool to be able to experience that and get more experience in that regard. So it wasn't just, hey, we'd like you to post about this. It was like, hey, you're good at talking to a camera, can you talk to ours? Cool. Like I said, I feel like 2020, this is my year. I thought 2019 was, but 2020, I'm just trying to be a better person every year and trying to learn more and trying to do more things. Yeah. Feel good. What was your favorite game, excluding video games, that you used to play as a child? Hands down, Jailbreak. Jailbreak, best game ever. I miss it so much. If you haven't played it, it's like Cops and Robbers, kind of, except at midnight. Also, some people call it Manhunt, except the only difference is Manhunt doesn't have a jail. Jailbreak is a jail. I think I've talked about it in a video on this channel before, but yeah, Jailbreak, 10 out of 10. Look it up, it's super fun. If I could, man, I would totally get like a group of 20 friends, 2 teams of 10. We'd go somewhere in the middle of the night, just play Jailbreak. Oh my gosh, be the happiest I could ever be, probably. How do you feel about having a fan base / community around you? Well, I like to imagine that my community is so loose. I find everyone so objective. They have their own opinions, everyone's doing their own things. I really like that. I kind of respect that I can say something, and maybe if someone disagrees, they actually say it. They don't just say, Evan, I agree with everything you say. That's cool. I think that does have something to do with my audience slowly maturing over time, which is pretty cool. But also, maybe y'all are just the raddest people on the internet. Who knows? What software do you use for editing your videos? I've been using Final Cut Pro X since the start. Actually, that's not true. I used to use Final Cut Pro 7 way back. Wow, that interface looked horrible. But I switched to Final Cut Pro X when that came out. I taught myself from the ground up how to use it, and I just love it. I have such a good workflow with it, and I'm always learning new things with it. Some people I know use Adobe, and they're sweet. Supposedly it's similar, but I personally just prefer apples. Were you a picky eater as a kid? No, I wasn't allowed to be. My mom raised me up so that, you know, if it was dinner time and I didn't want to eat my broccoli, she'd say, if you don't eat it for dinner, you're going to eat it for breakfast because you have to finish everything regardless. And so, sure enough, I called her on her bluff, decided not to eat the broccoli, and then for breakfast that next morning, it was a steaming plate of broccoli. Didn't do that much. So I ate every vegetable, I ate everything, regardless if I didn't like it. And so as an adult, I literally will eat anything. I'm totally open when I'm traveling to trying the different cultural experiences. Like, I have a vlog, travel vlog, somewhere annotation. I just went to France and Marseille and I tried lamb testicles. Weird, but it was delicious. Okay, I'm all eating anything. How did you feel about coming to Brazil? I'm Brazilian and I thought it was cool that you were here. Brazil was really beautiful. Specifically, when I went to Rio de Janeiro, I did not know it was one of the 7 natural wonders of the world, but I believe it. It's a breathtaking place. It's so just beautiful to look at, from the beaches to the giant mountains to the forests to the jungles, and the city is so big and the food was great. Rio de Janeiro was amazing. I really liked Brazilian culture. I felt everyone was really lovely, and I really liked the atmosphere that Rio is such like a fit city and everyone works out. Like, the entire beach was just loads of different hit courses and people playing different types of sports, and it was really inspiring, and I felt like if I lived there, it'd be hard not to get involved. But yeah, love Brazil. I'd hope to go back and maybe visit somewhere a bit deeper away from the coast. Any obscure US foods that you miss that the UK doesn't know about? For example, whoopie pies. I do miss a whoopie pie. I think most of the things I miss are those small danishes and or types of cakes and pastries and snacks that are just from my specific area in terms of they're produced locally, and you'd go to like Licio's Bakery to get some really fresh donuts, or Pat's Pizzeria for pizza, or Sicilian Party Pizza, or, you know, a Philly cheesesteak hoagie pizza. That sounds crazy. Don't judge. It's delicious. Even the simple things like Irish potatoes. If you're Irish, you're like, oh, what's he going on about with these Irish potatoes? And then you're gonna hate me for that horrible accent. Irish potatoes are like cinnamon wrapped around coconut, and it's so good. But they're not a thing in Ireland, just America. I do look really smug in that, but actually they only come from South Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Delaware. Gotta love my heritage. I love them, I miss them. I'm gonna try and make some this year. How did you get more people to watch your YouTube videos when you were a small creator? I've been doing this for a very, very, very long time. I find that you need to make a Venn diagram of things that you want to make and things that people want to watch. And luckily, that Venn diagram became very much most of a circle because people seemed to really like what I was making and I kept making things. And the thing is, the more you make, the better you get at it, so you start learning your craft a bit more and also figuring out new ideas and you get inspired more often. I also watched more, so how did I get people to watch videos? I didn't. They just came because I was making things that they wanted to watch. Maybe they searched for a review of a film that I talked about, or maybe it was just a video I did with a friend or a video on an interesting topic. Honestly, just make a lot of videos and eventually, hopefully, something picks up. Try your best. And it's weird because I'm not really a big YouTuber, but holy crap, we're almost at 600,000 subscribers, which is mind-blowing. I can't believe that. But yet there's so many bigger YouTubers than me, and I'm kind of like in this middle ground, but that's nice. I'm happy in this middle ground. It's not so bad. I love you guys. Do you ever feel like you've missed out on certain things because of YouTube? Not in the slightest. I actually don't know necessarily where this question is coming from because I've worked retail jobs, I've gotten a degree, I've worked in the offices, I've done YouTube, I've kind of done a lot of different things, and I've traveled. I've not missed. If anything, because of YouTube, my life is way more amazing and I've seen and done a lot more things. So, no. Make a pun using the closet item to your left. Well, my closet's on my right, so I guess I can't do that, but I can do one about my microphone. Microphone? That was bad. Also, say hello to the microphone I bought when I was in college 10 years ago. You know, it's plugged into my current microphone, but if it's not broke, it is broke. I mean, if it still works, which surprisingly it does, I'm not gonna buy a new one, you know, does the job. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed today's Q&A and or what I've been making on my channel. Thank you so much for all the support. Like I said, nearly at 600K, so if you want, you can subscribe, check out the videos, and make them every single Sunday. Other than that, I will see you guys next week. Goodbye.
Thank you for watching the video, everybody. Have a lovely night. Bye. Marty heading me out.
That was bad. That was bad. I'll let you go.